I would like to start by welcoming you to the Lloyds Banking Group Social Entrepreneurs Programme. We're really delighted that you've been able to participate in this pioneering scheme. As a successful and responsible business, we do feel that we have to support the communities that we serve. And together, I'm sure with the partnership of the SSE over the next 5 years, that will demonstrate this partnership. As well as funding the training and providing grants, I'm so delighted that my colleagues in Lloyds Banking Group have volunteered to become mentors. You will be on hand to offer objective support and guidance, and using the skills that you've gained over your careers, I'm sure you'll be able to help these social entrepreneurs in their journey as they actually aspire to building these businesses. Our partnership with the SSE is a unique and incredible one. I'm so proud of it, and I'm hoping that together we can leave a legacy across the UK in our local communities.
So the mentoring programme at SSE is all about giving the students a one-to-one relationship that they can use to help them make progress on their projects. So it's not such a traditional mentoring relationship where the mentor is really the fount of all wisdom and we expect them to have all the answers. It's not about getting free professional advice from people. It's really about getting a different perspective. So somebody who maybe comes from quite a different background from you. Some of our students come from a corporate background, but most don't. So having that different perspective is really useful. So we asked Jack and Claire to come and talk to us about their experiences with their mentors, so that people could hear about that experience, get a better understanding of what it was going to be like for them, know what to expect. So Jack's project is the Calthorpe project. He, a few years ago, found a dilapidated piece of land in inner London, and he decided to set up a futsal pitch, which in my very limited knowledge is a bit like five-a-side but even smaller. So it's really good for sort of developing skills in football. So that site is now an up and running football pitch for the community, so it's bringing people together in that community, bringing health benefits. And since finishing the SSE programme, that's really developed, and he's now got a grant to develop a building on the site to develop that into a community hub. Claire's project is called Rafe's Place. So several years ago, a friend of hers who was running lots of art events for young people in Buckinghamshire died, and she sort of took up his legacy and started running it as Rafe's Place. So it offers events and experiences for young people in Buckinghamshire, and also gives students in Buckinghamshire opportunities for work experience. Claire's project has also really flown since she's been on the SSE programme. So I think it started off as a bit of a sideline, something she was doing in her spare time, and now she's really grown it so that she actually gets a full-time salary from the project, and she has about 30 volunteers at the moment working with her. So we're about to hear from Jack and Claire and their mentors, a bit about Jack and Claire's projects, but also about their mentoring experience, how the relationship worked, what they got out of it, what worked well, what was difficult.
Our mentoring relationship got off to a good start because Mike came to the graduation, which I did with SSE, met my parents as well, came to the pitch, the football pitch, to see how it worked and meet the people there. So I think Mike very much became a part of the story, a part of my project, by investing that time and having that interest. So I think that kind of whole area gave us a position to become, I can ask Mike anything, and I sometimes like asking questions just to see what his response is going to be. But I think by forming that relationship, becoming friends and a critical friend, I think you need to make the friend section as well before they can be critical, and then you can bowl any question to Mike and see what he comes back with. So that's very useful for me.
I won't repeat what Jack has said about the way we got to know each other, but he did mention that I was coming up to retirement at that point and decided that I wanted to try mentoring. It was something new for me, and I think one of the interesting things, particularly for those in PwC in the room who work on the client service side, is that when you're working in that role, and possibly the same for Linklaters people, It's about client service and it's about solving problems, and therefore naturally you can be inclined to think somebody's going to want me to solve their problems. Mentoring is not about that at all. I inevitably had the thoughts, well, can I contribute to Jack's project? I was obviously interested in what he was doing. I liked him as a person. But you will cover a whole range of discussions about business project, all different aspects, from funding through to organisation, through to development of personal skills. And there is that tendency, a strong tendency to think, I want to help, particularly with that background, and I need to know the answer. And so I had to, if you like, deliberately avoid doing that and very much go into listening mode and really just draw, not only with Jack but with the other people that I work with in the mentoring role, drawing out from them what they themselves thought about the problem, had they tried to solve it themselves, maybe make some suggestions about other things that might be helpful. It's very, very important to feel that is not your responsibility. It is very much a relationship of mutual trust, and in some ways our relationship has gone down that route, which has suited us both. So I work more closely with Jack on a particular project, but we need to then make time for that one-to-one mentoring, and also recognise that potentially Jack needs somebody who is more objective, perhaps to come in the role that I was in a year ago. So recognise that it is a dynamic relationship, which will change over time.
I just sent all my documents, all my brainwaves on paper to Suk-Chin to have a read. And it wasn't until then that I realised actually they didn't read very well at all, which wasn't going to help me when, trying to send them out to people that I wanted to invest or come on board. So it meant that I had to take that back with my team and look about rewriting that, making sure that it came across far clearer. It also went for me explaining what I do in just speaking to somebody as well, and I had to really refine that, but it's actually meant that the project has actually taken far greater leaps forward from going through that process.
Mentoring was new to me, but I was quite open about this. I was very excited and very keen to contribute. When I first met Claire, I was quite surprised how organised she was. So she has this big folder with lots of visuals on her projects. So she wasted no time at all to explain to me, and that helps me to get a bigger picture. She's very, very different from everybody else that I know. So I learned about her life, her work, and that really teach me to be a bit more open about other things as well, and on my work and my other aspects of life.
I think for any entrepreneur, it can be a very, very lonely place to be. And you're driven by your vision and your passion, but the one thing you need above everything else is that sort of support.
We didn't have an agenda, did we? But
We tried to begin.
Yeah. But we always did end with things I was going to try and achieve before next time we met. And then, so that did give me some goals. I think somebody said it earlier about having some goals. So then you came back and, I've done this, 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 and this has happened.
I was expecting to see something different from what I already know. And I got it from our relationship, because our interaction is a mirror to myself.
If the relationship was going to be really beneficial, it needed to be mutual. It needed to be one where both the mentor and the mentee got considerable benefits out of the relationship. And so we decided that we needed to adjust the way in which mentoring occurred in such a way that we could set it up to give everybody the expectation of mutual benefit. And that meant that this meeting that we're having today would be somewhat different from the way we normally set these meetings up, with much more scope for mentors and mentees to get realistic expectations about how the relationship could work. We would slightly shift the focus from the mentor being specifically there to help with the project to a situation where the mentor and the mentee were both working together on the project, but we're also both working together on the issues related to being a leader. And we realised, therefore, that we needed to pair people on a more random basis rather than getting people distracted by saying, I'm really interested in tennis and here's a chap who's running a tennis project, and then we can talk about tennis the whole time, which would be probably a bit of a distraction compared with working on leadership and the broader issues about setting up a venture. And so we are encouraging people to be randomly paired and to work out a contractual relationship with one another where the relationship is very much more equal. Find a way within which both participants in the mentoring relationship get the most benefit that they possibly can from working together, and that it isn't seen anymore as being an expert delivering opinions to the student who is the passive recipient of advice.
We at SSE would like to thank you for volunteering your time to work with our students. We know that our students get a huge amount out of the relationship they have with their mentors, and we really hope that you get a lot out of it too.